9 o'clock. So just sitting quietly and peacefully reflecting on my own health, because starting from this morning, like it's a little bit cloudy and autumn, it's the Vata time of the year. Vata is the one which gives you a little bit of restless mind, heavy mind, sometimes a bit of restlessness. I've got heaviness on the eyes, and recently my blood sugar went up a little bit with all the stresses of the last 3 years. And this was in the last 2 years with running to India for my parents' health, and lots of challenging times to face. In that process, what happens is, while trying to mind the various demands of life, we lose our routine, because I've always lived with the yoga and Ayurveda routine. So even at age 67, I'm enjoying in my body. I feel I'm pretty strong, pretty healthy, or should be healthy, but I'm not feeling healthy for the last years because the daily routine's gone, where I want to wake up early at 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock, then do a little bit of yoga and pranayama, and then drink the chai with the spices which help to generate the energy inside and make the mind alert, and then do a little bit of that Surya Namaskar, which is a complete exercise in itself. And you'd have your shower or bath, and then have a whole glass of milk with almonds, nuts and saffron, pistachio, that beautiful vegan protein and full nutrition with the natural calciums and phosphorus and potassium. And this is important. This is what I feel my routine has gone completely out of skelter. And this is called Dincharya in Ayurveda. Dincharya, the daily routine. And if we maintain that daily routine, then we will maintain the health. So I've been working on that, along with keeping a good healthy diet, because it says ahara eva aushadam, that your diet is your food. This is from Ayurveda, 5,000 years old. And we of course have to listen to our body according to our own body types. And Ayurveda has beautifully described the characteristics that we can reflect upon, which apply to us, our own personality, which we are born with. And that is where they group the various different characteristics into Vata, Pitta and Kapha. The Vata is the nervous energy, the mobile, the motive force, which also affects our movement of thoughts, movement of body, movement of speech, and also movement of the food and blood and everything in there. Everything that moves is controlled by this cosmic force called Vayu, Vata, the air and the ether element, which is everywhere. And then the second one is the Pitta body type, the fiery body type, which controls the heat in the body, all the various chemical processes in the body, the digestion, the enzymes, the hormones, and all those processes that create or give the energy, right down to the mitochondria, where the energy is created from the ATP and from the glucose, the use of ATP or help of ATP and all that. All these processes, the neurotransmitters themselves are the Pitta, whereas the movement is controlled by the Vayu, the Vata. So how intertwined is that? So in the morning, this is what I do. I just reflect upon understanding this body in those terms. It's also the Pitta, the fire of digestion primarily, both in the stomach and intestines, just starting straight from the mouth, as we know, right down to the colon. And that digestive fire in the liver, the gallbladder, and of course right into the cells, the cellular metabolism. That's the digestive fire, which is called the post-digestive effect of food. And so if we address that, the fire and the Pitta, by soothing and cooling and nourishing that, then we won't feel the damage inside with hyperacidity and burning and all that. The anger and jealousy and all these things are intertwined. The third one is the Kapha body type, which is the more binding force, the grounding force, the gravitational force, which makes the person sort of be stable and maintain the stability and equilibrium in the body and in the mind. and the emotions, but it can get very heavy, and you can get a lot of fat and water retention and slowness and lethargy if it gets too much. But when it is in balance with the pitta and vata, it gives us stability and strength, and that the stamina for the drive by the pitta, the fire by the pitta, and then the movement and the performance by the vata, the vayu, the nervous energy. Isn't that beautiful thought in the morning? I already feel that even the thoughts, like thinking about this whole, the science of ourselves links us with who we really are inside, the soul, the spirit. And so the combination of the soul, the mind, and the body, that's what creates the life. That's what Ayurveda says, that, this life is created by the combination of, the sattva, atma, sharira, the mind principle, sattva, the atma, the soul, the spirit, and the body, sharira. And so these form the whole tripod of life. And then beautifully, to understand how the mind affects, it creates all the vibrations and the agitation in the mind. Everything is initiated in the mind. So it says the Vedananam Adhishtanam Manascha Indriya Sharirascha. So the seat of all the agitation, the initiation of all the miseries and thoughts is the mind in this body and the senses. So the mind, the senses, and the body. That's why it says Atmendriya Manorthanam. So when the soul, the mind, and the senses, Atmendriya Manorthanam, they come in contact with the various objects of our experience around us. Atmendriya Manorthanam Sannikarshat Pravartake. That means when they come in contact with each other and they work together, Sannikarshat Pravartake. So when they work in harmony, you will create good vibrations. But when they actually come together in contact with each other, that is when the whole vibrations of thoughts in the mind arise. That's why it says Sukha Dukha Mana Arambhat Atmasya Manasi Sthire. So the happiness and misery then is initiated in the mind through those thoughts of the emotions. The good thoughts, the happy thoughts, the positive thoughts, or the negative thoughts, the miserable thoughts. All that it starts in this whole computer. This is the ultimate biological computer with the DNA and its own motherboard, which is the universal cosmic intelligence. It's called Mahat in Ayurveda. And so we are connected to an iCloud there with the mind. So we're not separate from it. And this is the mistake we make. That we're not just limited in the intelligence within this brain. This is why the Vedas say that Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahma. So that's the awareness we need to create every morning through our meditation, closing our eyes, breathing, and then just focusing within, inside, and trying to become aware of who we really are. And all the various saints and various spiritual disciplines, they all preach one thing, that we've got to connect here at the center, the Agnya Chakra, and that is the seat of our concentration, which then links us. And slowly with practice, we can then start becoming aware slowly as the whole inner world unfolds inside through our meditation. It has to be very pure meditation and a guided meditation. So this is the reflection in the morning, where we start thinking about the Ayurveda and the yoga. The yoga and Ayurveda both have the same aim, to live a very healthy, fruitful life. And therefore, if you are healthy, we can then do our spiritual practice in order to join our soul with the Creator. And during that process, by strengthening the mind and the soul, we get the strength to face all the various vicissitudes of life, all the challenges of life. That's what it goes. And so this is actually verified and said by all the various philosophers around the world. And we see it around us. So it's just about keeping an open mind, opening up the mind, and not just being very narrow-minded. And so that's what it's all about. And so coming that, it says the atmasya manasi sthire. So when we still the mind in our soul, in our atma, then it says nivartate tadubhayam. So then the thoughts and the miseries and the vibrations that are not initiated in the mind, the brain cells in the mind, nor do they act. They're not active. They go still. All the activity, electrical activity in the brain cells and everything in the mind just goes still. Atmasya manasi sthire. And the mind becomes still in the soul, the whole spiritual medium. And this is where then everything goes still, and all those quanta, the tanmatra, the quanta, the electromagnetic energy, whatever transmits the messages, that becomes just static. This is the reason why we feel so peaceful, so vacant, and so just free from any worries or anxieties, because there's no thoughts, vibrating up and down. They're not being initiated with us. And this is the beauty of this science of yoga and Ayurveda and the meditation, the dhyana. And the Ayurveda brings this philosophy of yoga within that. And it says here in this that Vashitvam cha upajayate, there is a spiritual energy force that is generated in your body when you do that meditation, the dhyan, by stilling the mind and the soul. And it says that this is yogastva, and the yogam rishyo viduhu, yoga gnastam, that this is called yoga. This Ayurveda says this. So it starts with the philosophy of the mind, body, spirit, meditation, dhyan, how to enlighten our inner awareness, inner strength, and create that inner spiritual energy so that we remain healthy both in the mind, the body, and the emotions, because we are constantly in touch with our real omnipotent self inside, the spirit inside. And if we do this, practice this every day, we can then face the world and anything that is thrown at us during the day. This is the purpose of this. And then, of course, the whole Ayurvedic system comes in with drinking. I've just had my nice little, drink the herbs, nice, warm, spicy herbs with ginger and cinnamon and cardamom, black pepper, first thing in the morning. Firstly, to wake up the system, it creates that little energy. And so here is mine, and I'll show you there. So this is my mixture of this is the ginger, this is the tulsi, holy basil in the leaf, and this is the powder mixture of ashwagandha, brahmi, shatavari with karancha, which is and I add a teaspoon of this karancha, karela, methi, gudmal. So I made up these two powders. That's all I need. And you can see this karancha, karela, gudmal, fenugreek, methi, all the common herbs, the bitter gourd and things. And then a teaspoon of the ashwagandha, brahmi, shatavari, and holy basil. These are all rasayan. They are Medhya rasayans. Medhya rasayan means rejuvenator of the mind. And these have been well established for 5,000 years, and we are really stupid not to use this. And I've been using this over this. That's how I really, kept myself going and recovering from any stresses and when feeling unwell or down or not right in the body. We've got to listen to it, detox ourselves with all those spices and ginger. And you can, of course, take triphala and things like that. But keep it simple. So that is what we have. Asmita and I, we started introducing this Ayurveda in 1987 at the Brighton Natural Health Center. First workshop when Asmita started the clinic. In fact, we had already started from 84, 85, bringing Ayurvedic herbs. And we brought in the awareness of the list of simple herbs like the basil, fenugreek, methi in Indian cooking, the coriander, but then the herbs like ashwagandha, brahmi, shatavari, guduchi, neem, boswellia, which is shalaki, gugul, and a host of others, which swarshya, chirata, all those, which will help with the stress, the mind, the glucose control, the obesity, like the garcinia, amla, and moringa, and these, and the methi, these, the karela, karancha, this also helps with the weight control. It's a kapha balance. One of my colleagues, Dr. Methi, is also using it for kapha balance, even if you have colds and flus and things, because the herbs are more drying type. and bitter type, they will help you with any of these catarrhal conditions, the kapha conditions, and he said that he's using that. So I was very pleased with that. So this is what, and we just had that drink. And you'd be surprised because people think that this was taste very bitter and odd and things, but it's the master skill is in blending them in the right proportions so they're effective and they taste nice as well. So I've created quite a large piece of fresh ginger root in this, and then added a little bit of that masala, just a mix of the cinnamon cardamom powder, so it gives that nice spicy taste to it. But the ginger and the lemon, squeeze a half a lemon into this, half a pot of this, make a half pot like this, and some great lemon, ginger. I put a tiny bit of gur, the desi gur, which is the raw tamarara, the raw cane sugar, totally unbleached brown. This is what you put in this, and that's what makes it a healthy. It is full of iron and things like this. So that's what it looks like. That's the desi gur. And and if you put that, it gives the sweetness, but it doesn't work like the pure sugar. Look at that. That is the pure raw. See, raw cane sugar there. Look at that. It's beautiful. And you taste it, it just tastes so wonderful. Yeah. So this is a little bit of the full commentary of a daily routine. So first thing in the morning, we have this. I also make my chai with the ginger, spice, mix a little bit of milk, and then I sit down and drink and do them, and then do this reflection, which is part of the yoga, as a lot of you yoga practitioners will be doing. And you will know with the yam, niyam, pranayam, pratyahar, the dhyan, dharana, and samadhi, the eight, but the yam and niyam is very important. I was discussing this with one of the spiritual colleagues who actually also promotes our Ayurvedic products with the yoga people, and that is not just about the products with the yoga and the Ayurveda products, like you have the Brahmi, the ashwagandha, and taking this, it's about taking this turmeric, which is the big one, isn't it? But the tulsi, holy basil, is what we are really asking people to use. So these are the sort of rasayan, the rejuvenators, even the detoxifiers. So these are the herbs that I've mentioned will actually serve the purpose of both what they call the shodhan, which is the cleansing of the system, and also the digestive fire, the amapachan. So you can look at this, then the ojas, the whole energy, the essence of energy will be generated in the body. That's what gives us the strength and that clarity of mind. And you feel it's called mental ecstasy without any drugs and things, just natural. Spice your life up with this. So I hope that was useful, and just try that. And of course, the exercise and motivating yourself to go for a walk, which I'll start again. That is the best exercise you can do, because exercise is the basis of a good health. It just tones up the muscles, the circulation, the mind. It just makes the mind very fresh and gives us pure oxygen. So as you walk, we should do deep breathing, nice deep breathing, fill up the lungs, as I've said in some of my previous commentaries. So I hope that was useful, and I'll come back again with more of these beautiful natural, as you can see. I'm doing it from my lovely just space. This is my space with my masters, my Sadguru's photo behind me. It's a nice spiritual vibe, and we live here in the family as well. So all that family spirit that you create with a happy spirit, that helps to keep us healthy and happy. So keep happy and do the right thing, as we says, Kurvan neveha karmani jivishechatam samah. The Ishavasya says, do the right things, drink the right foods, and the right activity, be happy activity, do things for others as a charity. And what they will do, and it says, expect to live 100 years of a happy, healthy, fulfilling life. So God bless you. Om Shanti Shanti. Radha Swami.